Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily.
Shalom, Israel. Welcome to ISUPK in South Florida, and today's topic is part 2 of the Native American Indian here that we know as Creek Indian, Seminole Indian, as Cheyenne Indian. Is one of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. Earlier in our last video, we brought out a stone that the so-called white man had discovered in Bat Creek, Tennessee, in a Cherokee burial ground. And his question was, where did it come from? Well, where it came from was where they found it, Bat Creek, Tennessee. And whose burial ground was it in? Gad, one of the 10 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And how we know is when we look at the archaeology here on the front of this book. Those here, these are not crosses. These are ancient letters. And here on this chart, we prove all things in the UPK. You see that letter down there? That is the Ta. That is the ancient Ta. It looks like a cross. Okay? But it is definitely a letter of the ancient alphabet, as well as the pyramids is the Da. When you look right here, right there, these are the proof in the archaeology of who the Native American Indian is. But also, let me go inside this book, because I want to bring out something clear. Let me bring out something crystal clear to you when I go into this book. On page, let's see, we have here on page 30, we have a so-called Native American Indian, Gadite. He's wearing a fringe garment. That is also more proof of who these people are. No one else on the planet Earth was wearing fringe garments but the children of Israel. And let me prove that, let me furtherly prove that in the book of Numbers, chapter 15. Okay, verse 38 and 39. Let me prove to you that the children of Israel wore fringe garments and that it's recorded in the scripture. Here we go. Numbers chapter 15 verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes. Fringes. Let's go back to page 30. Let me show you what the scripture says. It says fringes on the borders of their garments. Let me go back to page 30 and show you and prove to you that these people wore these garments because of who they are. Okay? It says that they wear fringes in the borders of their garments. And where's his fringes located? On the border of his garment, meaning on the edge. Okay? Alright? Of their garments throughout their generation. So from one generation to the next, these native people wore fringe garments. And in this book, there are more characters in here. Here goes another page of another Gadite, of another tribe, wearing the same identical type garment, a fringe garment. And here we have it in the scripture. Okay? This is more further proof besides a stone with Hebrew writing found in a burial ground, who the Native American Indian is in America. Now, I have a book here also, and it's speaking about the Spaniards when they came to the Americas in 1511. I'm going to turn to a page in here and read something real quickly to show you so-called white man, how he treated them when he found them. We're going to go to page 67 in this book called Crossing the Continent. Okay, and I'm just going to read you a small passage in here, and I'm going to prove something to you. Okay, here we go. I want you to zoom that in real close, and I'm going to read this to them. So I don't want them to think I'm just guessing.
The yellow highlight, sir?
The yellow highlight.
Okay.
I'm going to read it now. In the yellow highlight, it says, according to Las Casas Navarros, exclude authority and self-confidence. Okay, meaning he was a real robust type cat. He thought he was something. Says tall and blonde. So this is showing you and proving to you that he was a devil. Okay, meaning he had blonde hair. He had a way with words, meaning he was a liar, and was very much the perfect image of a gentleman, meaning he was a lying, deceiving homosexual. Okay, he was gentle, they said. Okay, but he was much given to caution. The priest explained, and he loved to do battle with the Indians. See, he liked to kill. All right, and we have here, says in 1511 he arrived in Cuba leading a company of archers, meaning men that carry bow and arrows also, eager to interlude his love of hunting human beings. So he was a savage killer. Let's go to Genesis real quick and show you, because part of the prophecy of Gad says that a troop would overcome him. But we're going to go to Genesis 25 when the children were first born and show you the type of mentality that one would have over the other. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 27, and find out more proof on Gad is the Native American Indian. And the Native American Indian is a part of the 10 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And I'm reading in verse 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. I just read about a man of the field. He came from Spain, went to another land, running his mouth with his blonde hair and his arrogancy, and he loved to hunt. And who did they say he hunted? Human beings. The Indians called them Manassites in Hispaniola. He was hunting after these people, another group of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay, so they no doubtedly knew who we were. They took advantage, okay, and they lied. But what did archaeology do? It proved who we were. It continued. When you read the cover of this book, the white man had some kind of infatuation with the Native American Indian. Why? Because he knew he was one of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. He was infatuated with his archaeology as well. This is called mosaic beading. These are made from beads that the Native Americans made. And this style here is called mosaic. Okay? When you look throughout the archaeology throughout the earth, the Israelites did much mosaic style archaeology. And the scripture tells you that the earth shall help the woman. And who is the woman? The woman is Israel, because we are the bride of the Most High. That's why he chose us as a nation. Why would he choose someone else when he chose Israel? Okay? This is why. But when you read in Genesis 49 and 19, it tells you that a troop had overcame the tribe of Gad. And when you read throughout the American history, there was a cavalry, and that cavalry was known by different orders of troops: F Troop, D Troop, C Troop. They built forts throughout the West as they conquered it, and then they sent the Apaches to another reservation called San Carlos as well. There was a troop that overcame the Apaches when Geronimo gave up. So that's just more proof that you find. And I'm going to go back into this same book and read another passage about the Indians in here, because we're talking about God's chosen people. And a lot of people like to believe that none of the Indians were enslaved, just the Negroes. But I'm going to read out of this book where the records were recorded by the Spaniards. And let's see, we're going to go to page 55 in this book, Crossing the Continents. And I'm going to go into it real quick and show you what Esau felt about the Indians of the Hispaniolas. And they were talking about a man named Esteban, who was a Negro slave who was sent to Spain to live, but he was on journey with some Edomites, Spaniards, and they got to the Americas and Hispaniola. His name was Esteban. It says, Esteban soon saw that in Mexico, as in Spain, African slaves were status symbols. Okay? Meaning that as well, he knew that he was a slave and he was a status symbol to a man with money. To prepare in gorgeous finery, meaning they like to take that good slave, that good house Negro, and dress him up and prance him around and parade him like a monkey. It says they were indirect demolitions of wealth. Okay, meaning these were rich people that did this, but they could be also tantalizing possession, who promised the almost orient eroticism of an erotic courtism, meaning that they also like to put things together and make them exotic and sexual and all filthy and disgusting, like Danya Nufala and Danya Zagamana, who set in the Spanish court alight with beautiful and licentious charms. Black slaves were to use and abuse. See, when we were gathered, that's all we were, was possession and mistreated. Okay, they saw us as nothing but mere possession. It says, and if most fierce, to serve as beasts and burden. Okay, meaning they didn't see us as anything. When the Spaniards came to conquer, all they saw was a slave. They didn't see a human being. They didn't see the children of Israel. They didn't see the lost tribes. They saw a possession, a market. They started the slave market, the Spaniards. Okay, they thought they destroyed all our archaeology, but the earth had helped the woman. Okay, which is Israel. You can't deny who we are. It's in our records, and our records is the Bible. That's what we live by here at ISUPK, home of the truth. Shalom.
Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous treading the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily. Ignorant multiply brutality. I see that they run gone left mommy. Fi struggle the hard road with fight beginning. Our I see baby having baby. Nothing that happen no do.